Let's deep dive into your journey, where exactly you started and how you reached Dubai.
I think reaching Dubai is not particularly the main part of the journey. I think the journey what you're discussing about is career journey, and the career journey is that most people go through is when you grow up, do you really know what you want to do? And most people, the answer is no. In my case, I actually knew what I wanted to do because I knew I wanted to be a professional athlete. It was something that I was very passionate about. It was something that I was very clearly about, and I wanted to pursue that. So I went into basketball at a very early age, understanding that it's going to be the big pursuit for me. And that was when I was growing up in Germany. And I reached a certain level. I became part of the German national team. I was scouted by American scouts. I played against NBA players. I was scouted to play in the US. And during the entire journey, I was like, this is it. This is my path. This is what I want to achieve. And on that path, once you land in the US, you actually quite quickly realize that you might have certain plans for your life, but
Correct.
that doesn't mean that the life is going to happen the way you planned. Because when I got to the US, I realized I'm actually not that good of a player.
Okay.
Because when you're good in one country, even if it's a big country like Germany, it doesn't mean you're good in the best country in the world, which is
And even though you were the captain of the team.
it doesn't matter. If I was one of the best in Germany, I was not even one of the best in my own team in the US. And this is something that really, really puts a little bit of a limitation on you in terms of your expectations going forward. But you're like, okay, let me push this through. So while pushing through, while in the US, while trying to gain traction on the career path I initially had, then things happen like injuries. So I had the unfortunate situation that 4 torn ACLs. So anybody who had an ACL knows it's 6 to 9 months in recovery. When you have 4 of those, that means you probably had more rehab than you actually play basketball in your career.
Yeah, I mean, almost like 2 to 3 years to rehab, yeah, right?
Just in rehab perspective. So that you quite quickly become understand that, from a professional athlete perspective, you will not be able to build on that career that you wanted to. You will not be an NBA star. You will not make multi-million-dollar contracts. You will not retire by the age of 35. You will not be on the billboards and everything. So this is a little bit where your wake-up story where like, okay, you're 21, 22, and you're like, okay, what's next? So plan A doesn't work out. What's next? What's corporate? So what is corporate? What do you understand of corporate? Is there corporate something that you can achieve? Can you?
What
be
did you go
passionate
through
about
at that moment? Because you've prepared yourself to be a professional athlete. You're doing great. You're part of Buffalo Bulls.
Yeah.
And from there, you're getting injured. I mean, and then one fine day doctor says, you can't continue this path. What was that mindset?
Well,
what really you went through as an emotional?
Yeah, you never. The doctors will tell you can't get through it. You don't believe those doctors. So one of the issues that with mine was I never stopped playing, even if I'm at a 4th one. When a doctor said you should probably not continue, I was like, I'm not going to let you dictate when I continue. I'll stop when I want to stop. But again, this is a psychological thing. It's a mental thing, and this helps you in the future, but just doesn't help you in this career path. So by the age of 24, I knew that basketball would not be my future. I knew that this is not going to something that I'm going to exceed in. And this is the moment where you'll have like this, okay, so what I'm going to do? And
Correct.
I think a lot of people, when they finish college, when they finish university, they have this big question. What I'm going to do with my career, what I'm going to do with my life, what I'm going to do professionally. Do I want to do what I actually studied, or actually do I have other interests, other hobbies, other passions? And
So you were actually continuing your school at that moment when you were playing?
Of course, I was continuing.
Okay.
I was getting my education in the US. I was getting my business degree. I was getting my marketing degree. I did all that. And then after finalizing the career, I was like, okay, what's going to do? And then the typical situation is, and this is when people look at my resume and they see played basketball till 24, became CEO at 26 of Groupon, one of the world's largest. Like, what happened in between those 2 years? There must be some secret. Like, there's no secret. I sent out my resume to 70 companies.
Okay.
Every single one said no. Nobody wanted to interview me. Nobody wanted to give me a job out of college. I was just not interested in anybody because there's so many other people out there that are looking for the same jobs I was looking for. I was like joining McKinsey, joining BCG, joining Porsche, joining BMW. I was obviously going for the top jobs because you're like, that's what you learn. You study, and then you go to the top corporations.
So once sports was out of the table, you went back to school, yeah?
No, I was still in school. I finished school and I finished sports at the same time.
Okay, and so then you studied your master's.
So 2009, I wanted to do my master's. I didn't do my master's.
Okay.
I applied for school. I got accepted. On my way to my master's, I was able to land an internship in a German management consultancy company.
Management consultancy.
Management consultancy. I mean, in Germany, management consultancy is considered like if you want to make your parents proud in Germany, you become either a dentist or a management consultancy company. That's the consultants in Germany are considered the highest rank of employment because it's very, very prestigious. It's only the smartest, very good pay, very early on, crazy hours, crazy pressure, crazy everything. But again, it's a status thing. So I was able to not get a job, but get an internship in one of those companies. And what I realized quite quickly is that my biggest benefit was, or the biggest strength I had compared to other people was, because I played professional sports beforehand, when you have professional sports, you have the discipline, you have the capability to really push yourself.
Correct.
People in the real world don't have that. Like, where people in the real world come to the office, sit there, get lunch, get at 5 p.m., look at the clock, go home. When you're an athlete, your pressure, the amount, the energy that you can actually input, the things that you can do, is like, I come at 7, I leave at 8, I don't need a break. I do my things. I'm trying to achieve something.
Okay.
And people are like, what are you doing? I'm like, listen, I used to wake up at 5:30 to go to the gym.
This is like an energy ball.
This is like, I don't even know what else to do. Like, you guys are, I've never, like, in 15 years of corporate, I have never missed one single sick day. Because I was never too sick to sit in a chair. Like, what do you mean I'm too sick to come in and sit in a chair and look at a screen? I used to work out 6 or 7 hours a day with some of the best athletes in the world, pushing each other, breaking my noses, breaking my knees, like everything, single thing that you can imagine. It was broken, and you don't stop.
Wow.
So the regular work day compared to a professional
But what
athlete,
was your emotions at that moment? Because there's someone who was completely playing or jumping in the courts and now is now tied to a chair for 10 hours.
Yeah.
I mean, what is that experience?
I mean, the experience is following. A lot of professional athletes have a very hard time transitioning. The ones that succeed, they are able to replace the scoreboard that they had on the playing field.
Okay.
Replace it with a scoreboard in your corporate world. So as long
because
as
you
have
had
a
the
scoreboard,
discipline. There was a discipline.
you need
That's
a scoreboard. So the scoreboard used to be how many points did you score? Did your team win? Yes or no? The scoreboard in professional is what? It's what's your development? What's your status? What's your income? So what's your salary? What's your position? How big, how quickly are you rising inside of the company? What the projects you're working on?
Wow.
So you come in, that's your scoreboard. So
you
instead
quickly
of,
mastered this art.
yeah, instead of getting rebounds, points, and assists, you want to get payments, positioning, promotions, and responsibilities.
Wow.
The moment you get right, you'll be fine.
How did you cope up with numbers? Because management consultancy is all about numbers and understanding financial statements.
Well, I did have a master's. I'm not a master. I had a business degree from the university. I was very acumen with numbers. Numbers is something that I'm very good with from the get-go. That was not an issue for me. I think the business process was quite simple.